The World Health Organization estimating, listen to this, about 2.2 billion people have impaired vision, nearly a third of the global population. Now, about half of those cases could actually have been prevented. Today is World Sight Day, and the emphasis this year is protecting your eyesight in the workplace. Now, don't tune out. You know you probably should have your eyes looked at. Let's find out how important this is. I'm joined by the president of the South African Optometric Association. Let's try and get that title right. Nivien Subramany. Nivien, morning to you. Good to have you with us. And apologies for getting the pronunciation incorrect. How would I say that? Optometric. How would I say that?
Good morning, Gareth. So it's Optometric.
Optometric.
South African Optometric Association.
It's not because I couldn't see it. I promise my eyesight is kind of okay. I just don't know how to pronounce it. Okay, so let's talk about this workplace, especially. Why that focus for this year? What's the concerns there?
So the theme this year is Love Your Eyes at Work. And it's important that people that are spending lots of time in front of a computer have their eyes examined annually because obviously digital strain is rife.
Digital strain, sitting in front of computers all day as well. I imagine this could very well be something that is easily treatable. We were saying now in the introduction to you, a lot of the global cases could have been prevented. How does someone know if they have a problem with their eyesight? And I'm not talking about deniability here, but if they've had bad eyesight for a while, to them, it's normal eyesight. How would they know the difference?
Yeah, because sometimes you don't have a reference point, right? But blurry vision, wavy vision, inability to focus, those of us that are over 40 years of age would actually find that it's difficult to focus at something nearby. Older people that would have like cataracts and things like that would find their vision very cloudy. If you have systemic diseases, you would tend to have blotchy vision. So there are stuff like myopia, hyperopia, astigmatism, people that are have difficulty driving at night. Also people that have age-related macular degeneration, which affects the central vision, glaucoma, which affects your peripheral vision, cataracts, like I've mentioned, gives you cloudy vision, and then obviously diabetic retinopathy for those that have systemic diseases. So that's how you would know that, there's something wrong with my eyes. But there's always help for that. A visit to your optometrist would basically assist with diagnosing and treating those conditions.
Oh, you just threw out a lot of very fancy names. I'm going to try and repeat them and get them right. Glaucoma, cataracts, macular degeneration. Which is the most common, if it's even a fair question to ask, is the most common for people to struggle with at work because of the computer screens that they're staring at? Is there a common issue that most workplace people have?
You do get digital eye strain. One of the things would be dry eyes, but those conditions that I've mentioned is what is the most common visually related impairments. So in terms of the digital world, dry eyes, because you're staring at a computer the whole day. So your blink rate is actually reduced around about 5 times. So you do end up with dry eyes. What is actually advisable is that you use dry eye drops in the event or blink more. In terms of using, in terms of your well-being, obviously in front of a screen itself. So there are tips available for your digital world. And that would include your 20-20-20 rule. So people that are sitting the whole day in front of a computer would look, after 20 minutes, would look at something 20 feet away for about 20 seconds. So it gives your eyes a chance to breathe a bit.
Okay.
If you have spectacle corrections, use them. It's no point keeping them in the case. You need spectacle corrections, use them. There are other stuff like your blue light blockers for the screen itself. And amazingly enough, your screen plays a very important role. So if you have your screen approximately 55 to 60 centimeters in front of you, an angle of 20 centimeters below your eye level, and also maybe tilted to a degree of about 10 to 20 degrees away from your face, that helps. And if you have inbuilt anti-glare screens, then those are of great help. Also adjust the brightness of your screen, and if you need to, change the focus.
I'm trying, as you're busy describing this, I don't think we had it on shot. I'm trying to actually figure out my laptop. It's about 60 centimeters away. I'm quite tall, minus the hair. It's about 20 centimeters down, and it looks like the angle is right. But I'm interested more about the strain, the colors that can be used. I know on cell phones, often at night, you can put on I don't want to call it a filter. It changes the color. It changes the hue to more like a nighttime sort of color. Is that just a gimmick, or does that actually help? Could you use that during the day as well?
Well, there's no gimmick in blue light, I guess. So blue light actually is harmful to the eyes in terms of the circadian rhythms and it affecting your sleep patterns as such. But it does help. So spectacles do have blue light filters, and those definitely assist with your computer screens. It helps with fluorescent lighting. And I did overhear you say that lighting is earlier, that the lighting does affect you. So at an angle, that would actually prevent that.
It would, just so to fill everyone in watching at home, Tammy and I were busy talking about in our old studios ages ago, we have very big lights. I mean, you can't see them. There's lights everywhere here. And the old building, they were quite low, and they're very bright, and they often used to get in my eye, and I used to strain quite a lot. That's what we were talking about. I want to find out, though, so for all of the issues that you can pick up with the digital eye strain, is it something that can be reversed if you pick it up? So say, for example, I have digital eye strain. I come into an optometrist, it can be reversed, or is it at that point only manageable to prevent it getting worse over time?
So if you pick up digital eye strain, that can actually be fixed, because if somebody, you can give advice to somebody. Whether they actually follow it is another story. So I could tell you the 20/20 rule is something that you can follow to prevent eye strain. But in the instance that you do not do it, you're going to end up with eye strain. An anti-glare would help. Like I mentioned, use artificial tears, blink more. Those things generally do help. It's not irreversible. Obviously, dry eye disease is something that is there. And if you do use drops, then that assists with everything.
I can't help but wonder, as I start saying goodbye to you, if this is an issue in the workplace, this could be seen as an occupational health hazard that most companies should actually be focusing on. I can't remember a company that focuses on eyesight, no pun intended, when it comes to looking after their employees.
So I would encourage employees to actually, employers, to encourage the employees to have regular eye examinations. If they can subsidize eye tests and maybe spectacles, encourage them to take frequent breaks, like I mentioned earlier. Also train employees in terms of your safety protocols, also the ergonomics, the way you sit at a desk, your screen as well, like I've mentioned, and promote good eye health practices in the workplace. For those people that work in hazardous environments, make sure that protective gear is actually used, and ensure that there's adequate lighting in your workspace, and reduce the glare on your computer screens.
Yeah, well, I'd love to turn the lights down in the studio, but then you wouldn't be able to see me. But I'm sure we can make a plan for the rest of the company. It's always good to get an expert on, like Nivien Subramany, president of the South African Optometric Association. Did I get it right? Give me a nod. There we go. I got it in the NT. Optometric, Gareth, wake up.
There you go.
It wasn't because I couldn't see it, I promise, because I didn't know how to say it as well. So yeah, just careful. My laptop, I was trying to work it out. I think we're okay.
Well, I have no idea.
We're okay. I'm going to be blinking a lot more on air these days.